Welcome back to the Hill Update. I'm your host, Dean Allison, Member of Parliament for Niagara West. Joining me on the show today is Richard Bragdon, who's the Member of Parliament for the New Brunswick riding of Mactaquac. Okay, we were talking about the Green Slush Fund. There has been a challenge in the House of Commons, and I won't get into all the details, but let's just show a very short clip here first before we talk about this a little bit more.
The majority of the House voted that day to compel the government to produce a series of unredacted records concerning Sustainable Development Technology Canada, a body engulfed in Liberal scandal in recent years, leading to it being dubbed the Green Slush Fund, for the purpose of making those documents available to the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. The government has failed to comply, failed to obey this House order, as we learnt this summer when the law clerk and parliamentary counsel reported to the House through you on July 17th.
All right, so we got over $330 million. I mean, sometimes this total changes, almost 200 potential conflicts. So what exactly was the House Leader Andrew Scheer talking about there? He was talking about, I'm guessing, having those documents sent to the RCMP. Could you fill us in a little bit more on that?
Well, that's exactly it. I think we, as the official opposition, and our House Leader Mr. Scheer, was definitely calling upon the government to become far more transparent and release the documents that are in question. And if there was nothing done that was untoward, what are they hiding? Be transparent about it, open and about it. But obviously, this leads a lot of Canadians to have a lot of serious questions about this, and the amount of money with so little results to show for it that positively affect Canadians' lives. And I think more and more Canadians have concerns about this because they're having to tighten their belts. They're having to watch the family budget very closely. They're having to be careful how much goes in and out of their household right now to make ends meet. But when they see this level of spending with little to no results to show for it, nothing concrete that we can see that's benefiting Canadians as a whole, that's when the anger begins to rise and the frustration begins to rise. Something else on this matter too, Dean, that is so clear, and you see this anytime we begin to drill down and ask these types of questions regarding accountability and fiscal management for the government. They do the typical things that we've seen from them over the last 8 to 9 years. They deflect, they become defensive, then they project. And then all of a sudden they start accusing the opposition of misinformation, disinformation. They start slapping labels when the questions start coming out. But I think Canadians are tired of that. And it's not misinformation when you ask a question. It's not disinformation if you have concerns about the direction of the country that it's going in this time. What is wrong is this level of ridicule and bullying of anyone who has a different perspective, a different opinion, or wants accountability from their elected officials. And I think Canadians are pushing back on that, and we can see that in the shifts we're seeing in the numbers across the country.
So, I mean, I guess the question is, why is this a big deal? Could you explain the conflicts a bit? I mean, you know what, in terms to the viewers. I mean, we have people here that are in charge of making sure the money gets out for what we would think would be good projects or projects that would benefit Canadians. But what we're finding is that these loans or these grants are actually benefiting the people that are handing them out. Can you explain that a bit and
Well,
why
exactly.
that's a big deal?
It is a big deal because if there's potential relationships between certain members of the government or potential relationships between the government and office holders and those who are receiving the benefits and large, huge contracts like this, and that somehow they're linked. Canadians have questions about that. So there should be an open and transparent process about that because we shouldn't be benefiting personally. No elected official should be benefiting personally because of a government contract being distributed, if that is indeed the case. So why not? If there's question, be transparent about it. Show the documents, show the paper trail so that Canadians can have clarity about it. Otherwise, if it operates in the dark, people feel like, where's the transparency in government? Where's the accountability for our taxpayers' money that we work hard for and they're taking? So I think when there's more light brought onto this, light is the greatest disinfectant of all. And if we can have transparency in the disclosure of these matters and cooperation, true cooperation with the RCMP, and not giving a bunch of redacted documents, but give clear and open documents so that it can be properly investigated, and where there's guilt, then it needs to be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And if there's innocence, that will be shown as well. But we need transparency in process.
Well, and I think when we talk about areas that we could do a better job in terms of sharpening our pencil, some of these programs are a great example. We saw a lot that came out of COVID. We saw ventilators to the tune of almost $1 billion, sole source contracts, etc. We could go on and on, but I think when we come back
Live
from break,
scam.
yeah, when we come
Yeah.
back, we'll change subjects.
Yeah.